Welcome back to Scottish Movies, and it's time to see what I watched in March and in April. Did I make up for my really pathetic February? Let's find out. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to rattle through what I watched in March. I'll be honest, it was just as pathetic as February. I saw 8 films in March. Um, yeah, really struggled to get anything watched, but I did make up for a little bit in April. Well, yeah, the first thing I watched in March was a horror film I picked up probably around the start of March. From I think it was from 99, 2000, something like that. I can't remember, but it was Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, I'd not seen this film for quite a long time, and just like Justin Long, and I don't remember the girl's name, but yeah, I just want to give it a rewatch, and yeah, it's quite a good little horror film. I've not seen. I think I've seen the first sequel. I've not seen any of the other ones, which is supposed to be awful anyway. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers, a lot of fun. Give it 6.5 out of 10. Next up, I went to the cinema, saw Scream 6, which I absolutely loved. Give Scream 6 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great sequel. I preferred it to the last one, although I still like the last one as well. Lots of blood and gore and slashes. Slasher film, what you expect. And yeah, enjoyed that. Next up, another cinema trip. Saw the Adam Driver film 65, which is kind of like a sci-fi movie with dinosaurs, really. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was very, very average to me. Not a huge fan of it. It's just sort of meh, really. But yeah, give that a 6 out of 10. Maybe we'll wait for streaming for that one. Next up, in preparation to watch the new film, I rewatched Shazam. Now, Shazam, the first film, I always thought it was alright. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I've got to admit, on rewatch now, I did really enjoy it, and yeah, it made me look forward to the second one. Yeah, I'll give Shazam 7 out of 10. Yeah, next up I watched a film I picked up on DVD that I've seen loads and loads of times, but I'd only just managed to find the DVD. And it's a film called Filofax, or Taking Care of Business, as it was. It's actually called on the DVD. I used to know it as Filofax, starring James Belushi. Yeah, great comedy film. I've always enjoyed it, and give that 8 out of 10. Next up, in preparation for another cinema trip, I rewatched the original John Wick in 4K. I did pick up the 4K set of the first 3 movies, probably 12 months ago now, and I hadn't got around to watching any of them, but I rewatched the first one. Yeah, it'd been ages since I've seen that, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Set me up for watching John Wick 4. Yeah, give John Wick 8 out of 10. And then I did go to the cinemas, watch John Wick 4, which I thought was freaking awesome. Yeah, just a great sequel. Plenty of action. 2.5 hours, just like, well, nearly 3 hours even, I think it was. I struggle with 3-hour movies, but yeah, just flew by. And yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and give that 9 out of 10. And then I followed that up in the cinema again with Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, which was okay sequel. Bit of fun. It had a nice cameo at the end I wasn't expecting. But I'd give that a 6.5 out of 10. But yeah, that was 8 films that I watched in March, and 4 of them were cinema films. So it's crazy that seeing like half the films that I saw in March were at the cinema, and I could have just watched a few films at home, but yeah, I struggled to do so. That brings me on to April. So yeah, April did a lot better. I finished on 16 films, and that included, I think it was one, two, three, four cinema trips. I think it was. But the first film I watched was a movie called Missing. This is kind of a unofficial sequel to the movie from, I think it was 2018 or 2019, Searching. But yeah, really enjoyed this. I'm a big fan of movies with like computers and that kind of thing. I like, war games and net and stuff like that. And I did really enjoy Searching. And yeah, Missing was probably just as good. Yeah, about a girl that is basically trying to find her mother when she goes missing after a sort of a holiday, and it's all done on the sort of computer screen. But yeah, great movie, and I recommend watching that. Give that 8 out of 10. Next up, I watched a film from the 80s that I picked up on DVD that I'd never seen, starring Bette Midler and Shelley Long. Outrageous Fortune. This is kind of about these two women that were like rivals for this guy. They were both seeing him, and I don't think either of them knew. And it's kind of like a bit of a revenge story in the end. They kind of team up together, but it was a lot of fun. It was quite a fun 80s movie. I'd give that a 7 out of 10. Next up, we went to Netflix with a bit of Adam Sandler. I watched Murder Mystery 2, obviously starring Jennifer Aniston as well. This was a pretty forgettable film, so much so that I've forgotten all about it now. It wasn't great. I don't remember the first one being that great, but yeah, it's just bang average. Give it a 5 out of 10. Next up, I watched one of the Arrow movies that I recently picked up, and that was Creepshow 2. And yeah, this was quite a good movie, but I say movie is like 3 separate stories. The one that stood out to me, it was the one with the Indian, where it's like he's like in the Indian reserve, and he's like sort of like a statue that comes to life. And yeah, it was good fun. It was 3 good little stories. And yeah, give Creepshow 2 7.5 out of 10. Next up, I watched a Star Trek movie, which I never got around to watching, and I've seen 5 Star Trek movies, these original movies, up until this one. So I watched Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country, and it's widely known that the even number Star Trek films are the better ones, and yeah, this was a really good one. Did enjoy this one. And I look forward. Although they're not supposed to be good, I do look forward to watching the rest. I've had the box set years. I'm a bit like that with Star Trek, and I do enjoy it, but I'm just not like as big a fan as someone like Star Wars. Not definitely not. But yeah, I give Star Trek Undiscovered Country 7 out of 10. Next up was my first cinema trip of the month. And I went to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now, huge gaming fan, love Super Mario. I don't mind the original film. It's very strange. It's nothing like the game, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure. But obviously, this was more like the game. It had all the sort of Easter eggs in there from the games. You had Mario Kart in there. You had all the characters. There was a bit of music in it, which in some places I thought was a bit strange. Some of the music choices, sort of random pop songs and that. But I did really enjoy Super Mario movie, and it's worth watching for nothing else for Bowser and doing his Peaches song, which just gets stuck in your head. But yeah, give that a 7.5 out of 10. I look forward to watching Mario again. I do want to watch it again. Next up, back to the cinema, and I watched Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Now, this was something that I wasn't really expecting a lot out of. It seemed to me to come from nowhere, really, a bit like when the new Planet of the Apes film came out, or Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I remember when that came out, I didn't even know anything about it, and it turned out to be fantastic. And yeah, this one Obviously not as good as that. I give it 7.5 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 as well. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good adventure film and had a fantastic sort of Easter egg cameo in there of the spoiler alert animated sort of adventures, you could say, from the 80s cartoon, which I thought was brilliant. And yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed that one. Next up, back home again, and yeah, I watched another one of my arrows. This is a film called Dead End Driving. Yeah, this is a strange little film, sort of an Australian film about this couple from the 80s as well. Like this couple that sort of basically get in the driving theatre and people steal the tires, and it turns out there's like basically a sort of a community living in this driving movie theatre area, and it's about them sort of this lad trying to escape basically. But it was quite a good little film. It was very odd, but I did enjoy it. Give that 6 out of 10. Next up, I rewatched Searching. Yeah, after watching Missing, I had to watch the original film, and yeah, still really enjoy Searching. 8 out of 10 for that. I hope they do some more in this sort of style. I know there's a horror film called Unfriended I need to rewatch as well because that's similar. Well, obviously a horror aspect, but that's similar in the all done on computer. Next up, we're back to the cinema with a bit of Nicolas Cage playing Dracula, and that was Renfield. Also stars Nicholas Hoult. Yeah, this was a lot of fun as well. I give Renfield 7.5 out of 10 as well. I did really enjoy it. It was lots of blood and guts. It was just a lot of fun. Nicolas Cage was just great. There's Dracula, as you'd expect, just proper having it up. And yeah, I really enjoyed Renfield. Thought it was definitely worth a watch. Next up is another Arrow title that I picked up with some Amazon vouchers. That I just thought it sounded like good fun, and it was Phantom of the Mall. I think it's Eric's Revenge. Yeah, this starred Paulie Shaw of all people, and probably a couple of other faces I recognise from the 80s. But yeah, it's kind of like a slasher film in the mall in the 80s. It was all right. I'll be honest, although it was sort of crap but good. I prefer the film Chopping Mall about the sort of robot things in the mall that were killing people. That was just, I don't know. I thought that was a lot more fun. But yeah, I think I'd give Fancy the Mall 6 out of 10. Then I watched myself some monster movie action and another new pickup, and that was the 4K of Godzilla from 1998, the Matthew Broderick one. Yeah, I've not seen this for probably since it first came out, and yeah, I thought it was all right. I'd forgotten kind of what Godzilla is like in it though. He's not really like a sort of a Godzilla. He's more like a dinosaur. But it was fun though, and yeah, it was quite good, and I'll give that a 6 out of 10. Now I was quite disappointed with the 4K, mate. I don't know it's my setup, but I don't think I was too impressed with the actual 4K transfer on that though. Next up, we're on to another cinema trip when I went to watch Evil Dead Rise, which was great. Really loved Evil Dead Rise. I do need to rewatch the other Evil Dead movies, and I need to get onto the series as well. So Ash vs Evil Dead. Well, yeah, Evil Dead Rise, bloody and gory. Oh my god, it was just full of blood, and yeah, great fun. Didn't think it was particularly scary, but it was quite more disturbing. But some scenes of it really made you squirm in your seat a bit. But yeah, I give Evil Dead Rise 8 out of 10, and I really look forward to watching that again. It'll definitely be one I'll pick up when it comes out. Next up, on my birthday, I had a busy day, went Blu-ray hunting, as you would have seen the video. And on the evening, I watched, I say what my favourite Disney film, well, my favourite Disney film animated is Aladdin. I didn't watch that, but I watched I picked it up that day. I watched the live action Aladdin on 4K. I just have a lot of fun with that. I really enjoy it, and yeah, I just fancy sticking it on. So I watched it in 4K, and it looked great. I don't mind Will Smith in that film. I thought he did a good job. He never beat Robin Williams, but yeah, it's just an entertaining film, and I love the music. So I just decided to watch that, and I give that 8 out of 10 as well. Next up, I watched a film starring the Oscar-winning Brendan Fraser, which DVD picked up in the charity shops, and it was Dudley Do Right. Yeah, this was it's a pretty stupid film. He does what he says on the tin. Really, you kind of expect a silly comedy. I know I'm a fan of silly comedy, but it was just, I don't know. It was just daft, really. Not great. I'll admit. And well, I mean, I've watched it, and yeah, there it is. Give that 5 out of 10. And finally, the last film I watched in April, 16, like I say, 16 films I watched altogether, was basically another rewatch, and that was Plane, which I picked up the 4K and watched that again. And yeah, I think I give Plane 7 out of 10 when back in January when I watched it. Um, and yeah, it's still a great action film. It did look great in 4K, and yeah, I was happy to pick that up, and yeah, great watch, great film. Um, yeah, and that is basically everything I watched in March and April. Now we're now in May. What we're going to watch this month? Well, I've seen 3 films so far. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to get a few more cinema trips in. I'm really enjoying my cinema trips at the moment. But yeah, so comment down below uh, if you're familiar with any of these films, if you watched any of these films, or if you're a big fan of any of them. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And I'll see you next month for some more movie watches with a bit of luck. Bye, guys.